Advisement of Rights. If you are charged with a criminal offense in this country, you have rights guaranteed by the state and federal constitutions. These rights are enforced at trial. If you enter a plea of guilty or no contest, you give up or waive these rights. These rights include the right to be presumed innocent unless and until the evidence proves your guilt beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. This is the highest standard of proof in the justice system. The state has the burden of proving the crime was committed and the defendant is the person who committed the crime. The defendant is generally not required to prove anything because the state has the burden of proof. You have a right to confront your accusers and cross-examine witnesses against you. You have a right to examine physical evidence and call witnesses to testify on your behalf. You have a right to remain silent, or you can waive that right and testify at trial if you choose to do so. You have a right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford to hire a private attorney, a public defender will be appointed to represent you. You have a right to appeal matters related to the judgment and sentence within 30 days. These rights remain with you throughout the entire time that this case is pending. You are never under any obligation to waive or give up these rights. If you are on probation for another offense, a plea to this charge may violate your probation in that other case. If you are not a United States citizen, a conviction for some misdemeanor criminal charges will result in you being deported. If you were previously convicted of a sexually violent offense or are required to register as a sex offender, the sentence imposed in this case may violate the terms of your release and result in you being recommitted. You have a right to a speedy trial. Under the rules of criminal procedure, usually the state has 90 days to bring you to trial in a misdemeanor case. During the pandemic emergency, the time for speedy trial has been told. For your plea to be knowingly and voluntarily entered, you need to know that the maximum sentence for a second-degree misdemeanor is 60 days in jail, 6 months of probation, and a $500 fine plus court costs. A first-degree misdemeanor is punishable by up to 1 year in jail, 12 months of probation, and a $1,000 fine. The minimum sentence that can be imposed in a criminal case is a withhold of adjudication of guilt and court cost, not a fine, but mandatory court cost. If the judge withholds adjudication of guilt, you do not have a conviction for this offense. If you are adjudicated guilty, then you do have a conviction. If the crime is driving related, points may be assessed on your driving record. Court costs are different depending on the offense, but the minimum court cost in a misdemeanor case totals $273. If you want to resolve this case but are unable to pay the court cost immediately, you may contact the clerk of court for different payment options. The first option is to pay in full within 30 days. If you need longer to pay, tell the judge, and they can extend the time to pay 90 or 180 days or more. You can enter into a payment plan with the clerk, where you pay a small amount each month. Or you can perform community service at a rate of $10 per hour for most of the court costs that are imposed. If you don't enter into an agreement with the clerk, or abide by the terms you agree to, eventually your driver's license could become suspended even if the charge is not driving related. If you enter a plea of guilty or no contest, the judge will ask you whether you understand these rights. He or she may ask other questions to determine whether you are entering the plea voluntarily. If you have any questions, you should speak up. Once you enter a plea of guilty or no contest and the judge accepts your plea, it is very difficult to take it back. If you have any questions, ask. It's the judge's job to make sure that you are treated fairly and that you understand what is going on. Although we try to talk to as many people as possible in the shortest time, it is our goal to take as much time as you need so that you understand your options and can make the best choice for yourself under the circumstances. This is your day in court.